How you doing? This is Don, RogersRaiders.com. I am the owner, creator of RogersRaiders.com. And one of our major focuses is the Guns of Glory phone game that we've now transitioned into a PC game. It's a lot easier to play on the PC, especially when we do long events. For Saturday UACs and KVKs and things like that. And what you're seeing up on the screen here is a Google Trends for the search for Guns of Glory. So this is, I'm looking at the last 5 years. So this is what I would call noise because the game didn't even exist. And the way Trends works is it's a 0 to 100. So 100 being its peak, which would have been September 1st of 2018. Oddly enough, when I started playing the game. It was my first video. That happened to be the first month I put the video out, just helping a friend out. And we saw a spiking trend for that stuff. And then we go to its next peak, which happens to be right there at the end of the year 2019. And that's where we started the K362 thing. And Guns of Glory just got into a battle in the year 2019 with its own influencers and, quite frankly, with its own customers. And we can see on the trends, the line for Guns of Glory is not good. Guns of Glory seems to have branched away from Kings of Avalon. And the reason we're telling you all this stuff is we're not going to abandon the Guns of Glory platform. There is a wonderful strategy game there despite the company's efforts to destroy its own product. You do not have to spend a fortune to play this game. It's the game's peak ability to play well has to do with teamwork. Its peak downfall happens to be the inability of people who are in a room by themselves to think of anything but themselves and play as a team. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about this year is leadership. We talked about it a little bit last year and the year before, but we're going to delve a little deeper down into that more. As we were talking the other day with our live session with Creep and Koji, it's not just so much leadership as it is leadership roles. You know, the guy who's the general gives the overall plan. It is not the lieutenants and the sergeants' jobs to question that plan and make sure the guy knows what he's talking about. You know, it's if the guy doesn't know what he's talking about, you shouldn't be there. It's that simple. It's not, well, maybe we can change him. You can't change people in that way. Not from this interface. People are alone in a room and you just can't interact at an emotional level that way. And there's a lot of emotion in these games. It's easily triggered. People love to be offended. It's a taught response these days in schools and on the news and wherever you get your information. And I guarantee you, not even I'm immune to that kind of triggering. But at least from my past and my history, I can see it when it happens. It's like, that triggered me. Most people can't do that. I'm going to encourage each and every one of you, little by little, to learn what triggers are and to learn how to recognize them, because it's going to make you better in game, and it's going to make your life better overall when you can listen to a person talk and hear that they tried to trigger you, even though they didn't mean to. Okay? So I think we've got the ability to build around Rogers Raiders we're starting this year off with 17,000 members over at Rogers Raiders. So starting this year's growth, and that's my people congratulating me on LinkedIn for whatever achievement I've made on LinkedIn without even knowing I made it. So we're starting off with 17,000 people over there. You've got lots of people to help you with this game. And this is the start of a series of videos as we're going to start a new account. Now, the reason we're starting here showing you what I'm looking at is, one, I do my research. Okay, guys. So there's the trend line for the last year. Within this last year, April being things, That's because it's only going back a year. The actual peak would have been January of last year. So that's why I had the 5-year up. We can go down into, I can tell you right now, Kansas is our number one state for new players. Then we get into Kentucky, Michigan, Oregon, and Oklahoma. So the Midwest, woo, Kansas City. I live in New Mexico, but I grew up in Kansas, and it was surprising to me to see that as a number one trend line. And then at the same time, knowing the amount of meth heads that are expanding in the Kansas area, may not be so surprising. The number of people who sit around and tweak on their phones. This is why we got to understand it's okay to say go away. You're playing at home to entertain yourself. Okay? If you're spending any money in this game, and I really, truly, honestly tell you, if you're breaking $100 a month, you have got some other issue that's got nothing to do with not being a better player or not having enough, or the other guys are just outrunning you. This company tries to create the perception that everybody else is spending better than you, and you need to catch up. It's a casino style emotional trigger. This is one of the reasons I was just talking about you being emotionally triggered. All right. Not just by players, but by games. And quite frankly, infiltrators from the company who act as players to trigger that emotion. Be you, do you, just play the game. When the crushing defeats come down from the guy who supposedly spent $30,000 last month, learn to blow it off. You don't have to be happy about it, but don't get upset about it, is what I'm trying to get on that one. Don't let it eat at you. Just keep doing what you do. Do it at a steady rate. Pay attention to the things we're going to do. We're going to be rehashing all the some of the old content. Not that much of it has changed in relevance, but we are on our 3rd generation of graphics with the game. So you're going to see me fumbling around with where things are, because I took a hiatus. I took a step back so I can come back at this with fresh eyes. And we're doing our research of where and how. And I'll tell you what I'm looking at that's got me interested is in my conversations with some of the players at the companies, the West Coast is actually one of the worst time frames. So I know that maybe we can target some of these West Coast players and get them into a kingdom together. There will build a better community. Now, I know that there's about 40 alliances out there over the last year who love to send me messages in games and things like that to thank me for how much their alliance came together, learned to play as teams, and that made it fun for them. And I would ask those leaders that as you see me putting this stuff together, you turn around and acknowledge that by paying that knowledge forward. It's no one wants to log onto the game to be the guy in charge of people not acting like an ass. But unfortunately, if you don't quell that mess, then it runs off your people who might stick around and enjoy the game. New kingdoms, and we're going to see this in the next set of videos I'm going to do up, and I haven't shot them yet. I don't know this for a fact. Maybe I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. Logged on a new kingdom, and there's not going to be 50 million people in KC telling everybody how they know everything there is to know about the game, and listen to me and join my freaking alliance, blah, 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 blah. Now, I need to set some expectations for me being in a new kingdom, because I get, and it's in the thousands of people who want me to come join a new kingdom with them. I am not your personal trainer. I speak to a very, very, very large audience. I cannot do one-on-one. And the money we raise from this goes to my military charities. So if you're a first-time Gun to Glory, you just found this article, you just found this thing, and you're I hope you went this far into the audio with me. We use this game to raise money for military charities that I support. All right. And that's the pleasure I derive out of doing all this work. And I do the work. I do the math. I get in here. We get into, let me pull one of these others up. I can't pull that off that screen. So like I get into keyword exploring, and right now keyword and see, but I know enough about this to know see where Guns of Glory gameplay. I don't believe that the majority of people are out there wanting to see other people send a marching, click the castle. God, I hope that's not true. Gameplay is a keyword built by YouTube, and therefore a lot of influencers try to target it because it's a click button influencer on your phone. Now tips, yeah, and I don't even think I rank for that word as much as I own everything else, because all my stuff is so driven down to actual information on that topic. But I'm probably going to target the keyword tips with a modifier, like tips, build your airship. Well, I'm not going to mess with airship because Guns of Glory airship, I own that. That's me. I own that word. But you can see from the keyword search, there's not a lot of questioning taking place in the form of specific or in a repetitive enough way of putting a question that it allows us to go delving into it. So this year, we're going to do something different than any gaming platform ever has. And that is when we do our live sessions, you're going to be able to call us and hold a two-way conversation in real time so that everybody can learn. All right. Then we will build topics based off of that. We're going to have the ability to take your questions via text. You're going to be able to text us, send us your questions, and we can address those live. And guys, I'm going to take what is normally 15 to 18 days of delay completely out of the system so that when Guns of Glory launches a new event on us and we only have 24 hours to respond to the changes that are different in that event, we can do so in real time on day one for you guys so that you get the maximum benefit out of every event this year. You're going to have to bear with us on the phones. We had it working. If you go look at my channel, you will see that the live session that we did before this with Creep and Koji, two master strategist planners in this game. If you don't know the names, you should know the names. They're outstandingly patient strategy planners. And I rely on their wisdom to temper my wisdom. I don't seek people out who agree with me. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of kiss asses. They know they can challenge me. They know they can tell me to go piss up a rope and say this isn't going to work and this is why. And then I can do the same. Then we can all do what's going to happen. And then what happens? We go, oh yeah, that guy was right. And it doesn't mean I was right. It means we figured out what was right. That's what we put into the videos is the what we learned afterwards. It's a review of what failed, what didn't fail. I'm really hoping we're going to get more into the strategy this year because we're going to try at Rogers Raiders to drive people to specific kingdoms based on region, guys. That's why I'm showing you this thing up here. And let me go see. Let's go look at our worst state. California's in there, and we knew we had a California problem. But what's funny is look how bad New York is. Okay. One of the problems with doing events in Guns of Glory, as anybody who's played this game before knows, is the best defense for big 24-hour events is an international alliance where you got people in Germany and Russia and all that stuff. But to get the stuff done to build your accounts up, everybody on the same time frame is the best thing. So you can't win one way or another. And so we're going to show methods that we're going to put in place of how to do both. Your alliance probably should be more regional, and your events should be swapping alliances to play the big events, so that you can have a more international type deal. So I like the international alliance. I really do. It's real easy to make I've learned to make a 24-hour game plan. And we'll demonstrate that as much as we can. We'll probably go back to an older kingdom to do that, because that's just kind of the way we did things. So I appreciate it very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, and visit Rogers Raiders. Become a member over there. Get involved in the forums. Ask your questions. And watch for our new phone number. Thank you.